Welcome or welcome back. Today I have a great Azure Standard haul for you guys. You can see that I stocked up on some Kirk's Castile soap, and that will hopefully last me right around a year. I also got some mustard seed powder. I use that for a sausage recipe that I use with some ground beef. The supply I had went out with the critter we had this winter, so I was restocking that, and now I have a shaker bottle, which will be easier to use, and I can just refill. I also got this cheesecloth, thinking it was what I was wanting. That is actually, I've used it before. It is perfectly fine. I have used that on numerous occasions to drain yogurt. It's just not my preference because it's typically hard to wash, so I wind up throwing it away. And I kind of try and lean towards zero waste as much as possible. What I actually wanted was butter muslin, so I will get that in another month or so. I also got a pound of beef gelatin because my daughter wants to make coffee jelly. Don't ask me, I don't know, and I don't drink coffee. And then I got these 00 gelatin capsules. That is a pack of 1,000. And I do capsule my own vitamins and supplements most of the time. I need to get another video up explaining what all I take on my other channel, so I don't have that currently. It is in process. Of course, I had some help with spreading all this stuff out. She thought she needed to be the center of attention. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when something doesn't come in. I did miss getting the pepper jack cheese and some lemon juice I was going to try. And what happens, they leave it on your order and they just zero it out. That way you know it didn't come in and that you need to reorder it or figure out where you're going to get it from in the meantime. And they just don't charge you for that. So it's not like a matter of having to do a refund or anything. It never gets charged to begin with. They don't actually charge your card until they pack that order and it's shipped. Like, that's when they charge you. So anyway, I told you guys a couple weeks ago when I did my last Azure Standard haul, I kind of wanted to start doing a clip explaining how I use some of these products, and so you could kind of see what I do. And like I mentioned, I do capsule a lot of my own vitamins and supplements. That has drastically reduced how much I pay for things, because depending on where you buy things, even getting like a pound of organic lemon balm tea, which I then run through a coffee grinder, a pound is like maybe $15 or $16. And that is an absolute ton of tea, okay? If you're talking tea that's cut and sifted, it will typically almost fill a gallon jar. So it does shrink when you powder it and put it in capsules, but it's more than I would use in a year, obviously. And you can get smaller quantities, but I just choose to have tea around as well. On some of these things. I did just grab the last thing I've been capsuling on lately, and it's this berberine, which I actually get from Amazon. One of the few things I get from Amazon. Most things, if I don't get it from Azure Standard, I actually get it from Vitacost. They often have some of the same brands represented in powdered herbs. A lot of them are either Frontier, which is the brand that supplies a lot of co-op grocery stores, or Star West Botanicals, which also has a website that you can go to as well. But both of them carry various things from those two locations, as well as their own brands. And they're both brands that I really trust. And I did find, like, this berberine has worked really well. I had tried other kinds in the past. And, Anyway, enough about that, the capsules. So my favorite capsules are the gelatin capsules from Azure Standard. You can get them in multiple quantities. I believe it's either 100 or 500 is the smaller pack, and then 1,000, and then I think you can get them in like a pallet size, which just seems insane to me. But I'm also capsuling these things 28 capsules at a time. And so this footage before like including when I was trying to get the camera set up, was 6 minutes and 5 seconds. And that's all it took me to do 28 capsules. And when I'm just doing it in the evenings, a little bit at a time, you know, I can crank out about 6 months worth of something if I take 1 capsule per day in about a half an hour. So it really doesn't take a lot of time, and it's something you can do sitting in front of the TV, or I'll often actually have the phone up on the stand that I use to record things and just let it play my watch later list on YouTube, and you know, then I can just sit there and capsule and kind of watch something in the background. And it takes a little bit of time, but it has drastically reduced my expenses, because before the shutdowns, I was spending $200 about every 2 months to pay for my capsules of herbs and supplements. And now I'm paying, including the ones I have added on since then that I wasn't taking before, I'm paying about $500 per year total per year. So it's drastically reduced my expenses. I don't have to worry about supply chain issues and such anymore, because I can usually keep extra on hand. So I have quite a runway in case things are out of stock. And other than like if my hands are hurting, I don't do this, but you know, it's really not a huge inconvenience or anything. It's just something to keep my hands busy. And when I first started, this would be my activity when I was doing a circadian rhythm reset every spring and fall. And there's nothing really complicated, no electric. And obviously the things that I run through a coffee grinder require electric, but I just have a tray and work in the area. You know, like I just find a comfy seat and put my feet up. In case you are interested, I will go ahead and link the capsuling machines, even though I didn't order those this time. I've actually been using both of those for probably about 3 years now. And I will go ahead and link the items that I did purchase as well as where you can find the berberine that I'm using. It's not actually berberine, it's barberry something. And it's a source of berberine, which is why I say that way. I will link that stuff all in the description box down below. And if you use one of those links, I will get a little bit in return. Make sure if you order from Azure that you find the new customer code that will get you a discount as well. So I hope you guys have a great week. Remember, a few minutes at a time, maybe one change at a time, really adds up over a lifetime.